when creation, sustenance, and dissolution of the whole universe are doable by Almighty without the help of anybody, Kansa, Ravana, etc. are of no significance before him. No. If sins were to be forgiven, his justice would be tampered with and all men would become sinful. Mere prospects of forgiveness make man bold and courageous to commit sins. If God were not to come into flesh, how would he kill wicked persons like Kansa and Ravana? This was a question asked to Maharishi Dayananda Saraswati and he is answering very beautifully. I will read out for you. Answer. First, whoever is born must die. Secondly, when creation, sustenance and dissolution of the whole universe are doable by Almighty without the help of anybody, Kansa, Ravana, etc. are of no significance before him. When he pervades all the things, he pervades their bodies also and can destroy them in an instance. What other epithet than foolish can be appropriately used for him who is infinite in the attributes, infinite in activity, infinite in nature, and yet is compelled to subject himself to birth and death in order to kill a small creature? That means he says that only a fool with so much of power will come into a body to kill somebody who is so small. If anybody says that he takes birth in order to emancipate the devotees, it is also wrong. God has power to emancipate those devotees who act in obedience to his injunctions. Do you think that to kill Kansa, Ravana are more difficult task than creation, sustenance and dissolution of earth, sun, moon and other objects? If one looks at God's work in nature, he must admit that there is none equal to God, nor shall ever be. Na bhuto na bhavishyati. He gives further reasoning on the incarnation topic. God being infinite and all pervading, it is ridiculous to say that he goes or comes out. A thing goes to or comes from the place where it does not exist. Did God not exist in the womb before he came into it, or did he not exist outside before he came out? Who but a fool can speak or believe so in connection with God? God's coming or going, birth or death cannot be proved. Hence it is clear that Christ etc. cannot be God's incarnations. They were men because they had human qualities: attachment, aversion, hunger, thirst, sorrow, pain, pleasure, birth, death, etc. Next question. Does God forgive the sins of his devotees or not? Answer by Maharishi Dayananda Saraswati. No. If sins were to be forgiven, his justice would be tampered with and all men would become sinful. Mere prospects of forgiveness make man bold and courageous to commit sins. When a king pardons the failings of his men, they become bold and commit gross faults in the hope that when they would beseech him with folded hands, he would forgive them. The same holds good in case of Almighty God. Therefore, to reward virtue and to punish vice in exact proportion is the work of God and not to forgive sins. Now let's see one more question and answer. The question is, what are the essence, attributes, activities and nature of soul and God? Answer by Maharishi Dayananda Saraswati. Both are rational beings, that is both Almighty as well as soul. The nature of both of them is purity, imperishableness, righteousness. But God's activities consist of the creation, sustenance and dissolution of the world, the government of all things and the awardal of reward and punishment to the souls for their good and bad actions. Soul's activities consist of right or wrong actions concerning procreation and upbringing of children, art, craft, etc. God's attributes are eternal knowledge, eternal happiness, eternal power, etc. The attributes of soul are as follows. He quotes two verses from Nyaya Shastra and Vaisheshika Shastra. I will just read for you. 14 qualities of attributes of soul. Desire to get things, aversion from pain, energy, happiness, sorrow or displeasure, discrimination, in breathing, out breathing, closing the eyes, opening the eyes, decision, memory and egoism, motions, use of senses, internal emotions such as hunger, thirst, joy, sorrow, etc. These attributes of the soul are different from those of Almighty God. The soul, being invisible, can be distinguished by means of those above mentioned attributes. As long as the soul remains in the body, the attributes are discernible in the body. But when the soul leaves the body, they are not found in the body. A quality which exists so long as the thing exists and disappears with the disappearance of the later belongs to that thing. Example, the light which appears at the appearance of the lamp or the sun and disappears with their disappearance is believed to be the light of the sun or the light of the lamp. In the same way, do we have the knowledge of the existence of the soul and Almighty God. If you like the video, please subscribe my channel by clicking the icon in the right hand side what you see. And also there is another channel, the channel name is Vedic Facts. The description, in the description I will give the link of that channel. Please go and see the videos in that channel as well subscribe that channel. I will meet you soon in another video. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.